Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you what causes the MINTEMP error on the Artillery Sidewinder X1 and how to fix it in a few easy steps. The reason this happens is that the stock printer comes with a rubber cable tubing that protects the heated bed cables. However, as the print bed moves backwards and forwards, over time the cable tubing ends up creasing at certain spots. And these crease spots will cause the cables to break off internally inside the wire insulation. In engineering terms, we call this material fatigue, which refers to a cyclical load that propagates cracks in a material which eventually leads to the material breaking. An easy example of this to know is when you bend the tab on a soda can backwards and forwards until it snaps off easily. So the wires inside my printer's heated bed cable are broken and need to be fixed. Now what we're going to do is open up the cable tubing to expose the wires inside of it and look for sections that show signs of breaking. These damaged sections will show sharp bends like so. And you may have more than one area of the cable that is broken, so please look throughout the whole length of the exposed wires to find all of the broken areas. After identifying the areas that are broken, we need to cut these parts out and strip down the wire insulation to expose the metal. Then we will be soldering the wires back together. One thing I made a mistake of was not noting down which wires were connected before I cut the broken parts out. So I had to go through and test out the connections with temporary soldering, and after I found out which wires were connected together, I marked the right wires with a Sharpie and a bit of electrical tape. So I guess here's a little warning to you all so that you don't make the same mistakes I did. One thing to be aware of is that the black cable has two smaller gauge red wires inside of it. These two red wires pass the temperature sensor readings to the MCU. After soldering the proper wires together, we can apply the Heatshrink now and test out that the signals are going through properly and that power is delivered to the heated bed. Is it working? Okay, good. And since everything is working as it should, the next step is to pass these wires through a braided cable sleeve, and this will help prevent this from happening again. To do this, we can open up the bottom panel and disconnect all the respective wires. Be careful not to pull too hard on these when disconnecting. Some of these parts can be fragile and are annoying to fix. Okay. Now pass the disconnected wires through the braided sleeve and reconnect those connectors again. In terms of connections, you have one red cable going to the solid state relay, another going to a positive terminal on the power supply, and the two smaller signal wires inside of the black cable connect to the MCU connector at the front of the printer. Now we can pass the braided sleeve through the rubber grommet and out of the printer base. Here, I used the zip tie to fasten the braided sleeve and hold it in place, and you can do the same. So, that's it. I know these instructions aren't the clearest, but I hope it gives you a little bit more information needed to fix your Sidewinder X1. I didn't find any video tutorials online on how to fix this, so I decided to film my process and upload it on YouTube. I also cleaned off most of the dust from my printer after packing everything away, so sorry for how dusty it was in the previous shots. I haven't used my printer in a long time. If everything went well on your side, it should look like this. Thank you for watching this video, and I wish you all the best of luck with your future prints. Cheers.